My friend told me I should get one of those compression shirts. They work like a girdle for guys, kind of hold everything in place. So I went and got one. It's white. You guys, it makes me look like a sleeve of powdered donuts. Just a series of white lumps stacked upon each other. Of course, my kids were super supportive when they saw me wearing it. It's like, ooh, cool shirt, Dad. This is my son. Makes you look like that famous guy I keep seeing on TV. What's his name again? Oh, yeah, the Michelin Man. My other son goes, hey, everybody, come check it out. Frosty kept his promise. He did come back again someday. Finally, my daughter stepped in. She's like, you guys just knock it off and show Dad some respect. He's nice, he's helpful, and he makes people feel good. So he's obviously Baymax from Big Hero 6. That's the respect I get in my house, you guys. I've always kind of been a bit of a chubby kid. Like, my parents used to try to come up with creative ways for me to get exercise. I wanted to play Little League football, but my mom wouldn't let me play because she was afraid I would get hurt. But she signed me up for what she thought was the next best thing. You might be thinking, basketball? No. Flag football? No. She signed me up for clogging. Clogging. It was terrible. I hated it. I was terrible at it. You guys, we had to dance to Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top at Christmas festivals. And I felt like a fraud because I was not a sharp-dressed man. Now, I was a chubby kid wearing white tap shoes, white jeans, and a shiny blue metallic shirt with white tassels all over it. You guys, I was the original Honey Boo Boo. I was the first. I did get to play Little League Baseball when I was a kid. That was cool. And it was back in the days when Gatorade first started becoming really popular. So we all thought if we drank a ton of Gatorade, we'd become amazing athletes like Michael Jordan. So before one of my games, I had like 3 Gatorades, and I was feeling great. Until about the 5th inning. That's when it hit me right about here. And I ran over to my coach. I was like, Coach, you gotta take me out of the game. I've gotta go to the bathroom right now. And he goes, this ain't basketball, boy. If I take you out of the game, you're done for the day. Do you wanna be an all-star? Or you want to have a pee? Of course, I was like, I want to be an all-star, Coach. He goes, good. Then you get your butt back out there and you sweat that pee out. And you guys, I tried. I honestly tried. But the human bladder can only hold so much liquid. Plus, they had sprinklers going on the next field over. So I was in the middle of going, hey, bladder, 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 bladder. When it just kind of released. Yeah, wasn't much I could do about it either. I untucked my jersey and held my glove over the spot and just prayed that it would dry before anybody saw what happened. Unfortunately, I was playing first base, right by the bleachers. And there was a kid on first, and he was leading off trying to steal second. And the pitcher saw that, so he threw me the ball so I could tag him out. Well, the kid slid back into first. He was safe. But while he was down on the ground, he looked up and saw what I had done. And he goes, you peed your pants. So I looked down and said, you just slid through it. Got a little right here, by the way. My kids wanted to know what I was like when I was younger. So I thought the easiest way to show them would just let them watch a couple episodes of Friends, you know? So I let them watch a couple. They loved it. So we watched a couple more, then a couple more. Before I knew it, we had a whole Friends marathon going on. It was great. And then bedtime rolled around, and I was like, all right, guys, there you go. You should have a pretty good idea of what I was like when I was younger. And they're like, cool. So you had a big group of friends you always hung out with and met lots of interesting people and had wacky adventures? I was like, no, I pretty much just sat on the couch watching Friends. Could I have made it any more obvious? That's my Chandler impression. I do love my kids, like I said. Sometimes they ask me the dumbest questions, though. Like, hey, Dad, who's your favorite kid? What are you supposed to say to that, right? I always tell them the same thing. I don't have a favorite. I love you all the same. But they know that's a load of garbage. So I've decided to use that as kind of like a motivational tool. So now every Sunday night, I post a weekly ranking. Yeah. Just like the USA Today coaches poll. And I'm actually getting some really awesome results, I gotta tell you. Like the other day, my daughter came and brought me a sandwich. And I was like, wow, sweetheart, that looks great. But you do know your brothers are outside doing yard work right now, right? I mean, could have at least like cut the crust off the bread or thrown some chips on the plate. You know, try and run the score up a little bit. And she rolled her eyes at me, which you guys, if your daughter rolling their eyes at you means I love you, my daughter thinks I'm an awesome dad. But she goes, Dad, just look between the bread. And so I did. And there was a $20 bill in there. And she goes, I guess I'm your new number one. And kind of did this robot moonwalk out of the room. Then I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a second, where does she get a $20 bill from? So I checked my wallet. Sure enough, I was missing a $20 bill. She had just bribed me with my own money. It actually made me really proud as a dad, though, to know my little girl's gonna grow up and have an amazing career in politics. I actually just went to it was an all-girls camp I went to with my daughter. They needed some dads there, I guess, to fight the bears, I don't know. And her and her friends, like, tortured me the whole time. They decided, since it was a girls' camp, that I needed to have a girl's name. And since my name is Travis, they decided it would be cool to call me Travisha. Which to me sounds like some sort of medication, you know? Like ask your doctor if Travisha is right for you. Side effects may include weight gain, slow movement, and low self-esteem. Camping is fun. We always do this. It's like a family reunion / camping situation that we do every year. And there are always tons of kids that are running around. And this past year, there's a couple kids complaining to me about how bored they were. I was like, why don't you guys play Cowboys and Indians? That's what we used to do when I was a kid. And they're like, well, we don't know how to play. Will you play with us and show us what to do? I was like, heck yeah, I will. All right, me and him, we're gonna be Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, okay? Now you two need to choose a couple of Indians to be, and then we'll have a battle. And the one kid goes, I'm actually not familiar with a lot of Indians, but I guess I could be Gandhi and he could be the kid from Life of Pi. Guess what, guys? Turns out Gandhi's actually pretty dang good with a bow and arrow. I thought the scalping was a little overboard, though. You guys are probably thinking, that's a pretty smart kid knowing who Gandhi was. No, he thought Gandhi was Molaram, the bad guy from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So he's walking around camp trying to steal people's hearts, going, Kalima, Kalima. I was like, dude, you can't do that. That's not cool. Let's put some ketchup on your hand. That'll be cool. You guys are awesome. You having fun? Good. Awesome. When my middle son was a toddler, he was like the fattest, squishiest baby you ever saw. I know, like, hard to believe coming from the genetic lottery that is his dad. But when he was teething, he would just drool like buckets and buckets of slobber. It would get so bad, we hardly ever even put clothes on him because the clothes would just get sopping wet. He was basically like Slimer from the Ghostbusters movies. Anyway, one night I was holding him while I was watching a football game. And the team I was cheering for scored a really important touchdown. And I got excited. And I went, yes! And you know when you're in the shower and you squeeze the bar of soap too tightly and it squirts up into the air? That's what happened to my kid. While he was kind of floating through the air, my heart stopped and time slowed down, which is good, because I ended up bobbling him like 4 times before I finally got one hand around his ankle and the other hand right behind his neck and shoulders, just right above the ground. And as soon as I figured out he was okay, I pulled him in really close, kissed him on the forehead, pointed up to the sky, and then I spiked him. Because that was an amazing catch. You guys, the next part of this joke's really local. They might cut it. I don't care. I'm going to do it because we're in Provo. I just feel like you guys should know I was not watching a University of Utah football game when that happened. Otherwise, the joke would have been about how I dropped my kid on the 1.5 yard line against Oregon a couple years ago. I told that joke the day after that game happened, and a guy in the crowd yelled, "Too soon!" I said, "Sir, you're right. I agree with you. In fact, you should have been at that game in the front row yelling that, because